Hey, what is going on the YouTube? This is GameGuy. In today's video I'm going to be going over some pretty much tips that I can give you for the fall winter season when it comes to live copying. It's mainly just going to cover live copying, and this video is out today because I wanted to get the Chrome autofill video out yesterday so that then it sort of all lines up, if you get what I mean. But obviously I'm recording this on the day that I'm editing the Chrome video, so the timings are a bit all over the place, but it just makes sense to me because I'm going to reference the Chrome video in this, that you can go back onto that and look at that if you'd like to. Anyway, let's get straight into this video. Okay, so to start off this sort of tips sort of video, I'm going to start off with something that's very basic, which should help out a lot of people. Obviously, if you're on a computer or if you're on a laptop or MacBook or whatever, it's sort of going to be a recommendation that I can give you, which is to get a mouse. Obviously, if you're on a computer or if you're on like a desktop Mac sort of thing, you probably already have a mouse, but I'm going to recommend for people to get a mouse. So very simple thing. It's hopefully going to be extremely helpful to you because I've had a lot of people comment in the past asking about this continuously on like weekly live call. So obviously you want to get a mouse. Now the mouse that I used to use for like years upon years was a TechNet mouse, which is this one. I think they've changed the design a little, but this is it. If you don't have a budget for a mouse, like a highly expensive mouse, you don't need an expensive mouse, you just need something basic which does the job. I used literally for like 4 years I was using this mouse, so I definitely recommend it. So let's get into why you need a mouse, or why I think it's a good option to have a mouse. So currently, as you can see, I'm on Palace, and this is just to show you the reason why. Now, I was asked a load of times, how were you able to open sort of items at a fast sort of pace or fast speed without having to do the whole right click on an item and click open in new tab sort of thing? The answer to that is very simple. It's because I have a mouse, and a very good function of a mouse is to click the scroll button in the middle, not just to scroll down. As you can see, it's instead to use it to middle click the scroll button, or just click the scroll button like you would left click or right click to open up multiple tabs. So now obviously that you can see the little top bits here, I will demonstrate. So it's as simple as this. I'm going to hover over and literally just click where the name is so that it will open it. That's it. There's nothing special about it. There's nothing crazy unique. It's literally just to middle click on an item and open it. This is what I was doing for the majority of last season when I was trying to cart items that were under the same section, and as you can see, obviously they are all open. So that is what I was doing for the majority of last season when I had tees that were under the same like sort of area. So let's go on Palace and click t-shirts. As you can see, obviously they have, I think everything's sold out. Two things are not sold out currently, or a couple are not sold out. So say you wanted to open both of these. Now what people I'd been seeing were doing were they were clicking on the item, they were adding it to cart, they were then going back either by clicking the back on there, or just if you have a mouse, on most mouses that have these nowadays, you can just click back like that, and then they were going on to the next item, clicking on that, adding that to cart as well. That is a very long sort of duration in order to do that, whereas if you were doing just that, they're both open instantly. If you're going for timing sort of purposes, so let's say I do this at 7:25 in my recording right now. There's one, say we've added it, we go back, there's a second. About 4 seconds that was, I would give that, for me to get onto those two. Do the same thing, I'll start it at like another time, so in a second. Done. So not even a second sort of duration, and I can open 2 items, even if you would just right click opening the items. The only downside thing is if you are right clicking, you can right click anywhere on the T. However, if you are middle sort of clicking or clicking your scroll, you have to make sure that this, as you see, the mouse changes when I'm going around it. So right there, see, it goes back to a normal sort of cursor instead of like the sort of click. That's the one thing that you have to watch out for, because it then changes into the scroll. So you just have to make sure that that's like that instead of that. It's also almost doing like an L, but you just have to make sure it's on this hand instead of the cursor by itself. Now the other side to test out is obviously right click and opening, and I'll see how long that takes now. messed up there, but yeah, about 2 seconds again. So you can right click and open, or you can literally just open them pretty much instantly, and it's a very quick method, and I think it should help a lot of people. So obviously yesterday I went over autofill, and I'm going to mention it again here because it is very helpful. Now you can also go into the extension side and search up autofill, and you can get, there are multiple ones for different things. For the phone, I would recommend Filler if you're going to be using your mobile phone to try and cop. There are people's videos out there on them which I'd recommend going and searching up because they come up instantly as soon as you search up Supreme Autofill for the phone Filler. Or there's also, if you do not want to use the Chrome application or you're already using a extension that you've downloaded, then go ahead and use the Lightning Bolt extension. Another thing that I can recommend if you get card declined is to simply go on an incognito tab. Now, if you don't know what an incognito tab is, it's available on Chrome. It doesn't save any history or anything. It also sort of acts like a clean account sort of thing. So what you want to do is just hold Control, Shift and the letter N, and that will open up an incognito tab. As you see, the colors sort of changed on my webcam. All that happens on an incognito tab is that the best comparison that I can give you is if I go to Palace again. As you can see, this is the exact same as yesterday on the checkout, and literally I won't click on it this time, but when you go onto an incognito tab and you go to checkout, like on Supreme, it will be blank like this is currently. However, in comparison, if you are checking out on, say, Supreme and you've already checked out week 1, you've clicked save information for next time, you know, you've clicked this little tab right here for saving your information. When you go back on, your information should be there for the next time that you check out. However, on incognito, it will not do the same thing. It will not keep your details here, so it wipes it clean sort of thing. This just almost gives the way where you can cop sort of multiple items if you were wanting to, but it's also the way that if you get card declined, you can just hop over to an incognito tab and it should allow you to check out, because that's how I was able to cop that Mountain Parker from the TNF collab, because I went into an incognito tab, did the same thing, checked out, and it was able to check out. There are still some things that we obviously don't know completely about incognito mode, but for me, I just see it as it does not keep the information here. You have to fill it out again yourself. And yeah, that's just about it. Another little tip that I can give you is to copy and paste your card details. This is if you're doing it manually. This is if you're doing it autofill without the card details, just anything. Copying and pasting your card details is extremely fast and it will save you a couple of seconds. Card details are normally 16 digits. Now, for the point of fact of proving a point, I'm just going to add this item to cart, checkout. So let's just say for the email at the top, I'm going to be typing, instead of obviously typing a full thing, I have to type 16 digits overall, and then let's compare that to copying and pasting. Okay, so let's see how fast it takes me just to type 16 digits, literally just going all the way up from 1 to 9 and then 0 obviously and back to 4, and then compare that to copying and pasting the exact same thing. So I'm going to start on my recording when it's at 40 minutes and 20. So that should be 16 digits done in about 4 or 5 seconds, or maybe 3 or 4 seconds. I'll do it again just to see if I'm any faster. So yeah, I'd give it a couple of seconds at least. Now say we copy and paste that and it's literally, there's no like stress over that at all. It's so extremely fast in comparison to having to type it. I just recommend it. Now another thing that I'd recommend you doing is if you do not know your card details, you know, sort of like off by heart, I'd recommend having your card sitting out in front of you, either on your desk or just near you somewhere, so that you can literally just look for the card details and fill it in as you go. I'd recommend that you do this just because you might mess up and forget some details or something, and as of that, it might cause you to slip up on something. So what you could also do is also have Notepad open and put your card details into there, so that you then have it sort of sitting up on screen, maybe in like a top corner or something. You just have it there and you can go through and just copy and paste whatever you need to, or you can look at it to remember what details you need to remember. So those are all the sort of tips that I can give you. I would also recommend having the specific tab open if you can. So like you see on Palace, when we go to different tabs on Palace, as you can see, the section obviously changes. I might be testing it out on Monday, to see if I can go into the exact same Supreme sections for the tees, for the jacket, for the Motion Varsity jacket, for things like that. But I will have to wait and see if that works, or if I just have to keep it open and open these side tabs. But for the people in the US, I will obviously leave all the details that I can for you on Monday. If there are sections, I will just leave the link to the sections so that you can have them open and get straight onto them as soon as you can. But that's the end of this video. If you enjoyed, that'd be much appreciated. Other than that, good luck for when you cop on Monday. And yeah, I need to go through and reply to some comments because I've getting a couple at the moment, so yeah. Also, thank you so much for 4,300 subscribers, and yeah, let's hopefully have a good season starting Monday. Like and subscribe if you'd like to, as I said. I'll see you all next time. Peace.